Okay, Suprabhat. Welcome to another episode of BGP, Be Good People. I'm Ankit Vingulekar. This is episode 2, and I have a super bright, super yellow, super amazing guest here on the show.
I ended up becoming the first person in my family to go abroad.
The humility to say, I don't know, teach me, and then to follow through on that and apply it. Hats off to you.
The restraint comes from within.
I tried eating it a couple of times. Not my jam.
At least I didn't say dosa. Thickness to fitness.
Oh, wow.
So I decided.
It's a good YouTube channel series.
Right?
Gen Z is Gen Zing you.
Me,
Out Gen Zing you.
I think the borderline, they are like core Gen Z. And even borderline Gen Alpha now. I don't even know what Gen Alpha will be like.
Well,
Let's go.
cheers.
Cheers.
This is becoming a coffee pe charcha.
Let's do it.
Invite to all the coffee brands to kindly sponsor this podcast. Yeah. Okay, Suprabhat. Welcome to another episode of BGP, Be Good People. I'm Ankit Vingulekar. This is episode 2, and I have a super bright, super yellow, super amazing guest here on the show. Arunima, why don't you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Arunima Rao and I'm a content creator. Originally from Delhi, dad's South Indian, mom's Punjabi, so a bit of a two-state situation here. I'm the sequel. Moved to Bangalore thanks to Ankit. I initially started my job with CoinSwitch as part of the content team. Then I was at the content team of Grow, and now I'm an independent creator. So very psyched. This is in fact day one of that.
Oh, what a beautiful beginning.
Right?
Oh my God. Wow.
This
Well
is the
done.
best way to kickstart it.
Absolutely. It's only going to go up from here. That's awesome. Now, I wanted to speak to Arunima because of the incredibly unique person she is. Now, I understand if you've seen the first episode with Chandni of BGP, I asked Arunima what she thought of the podcast, and she's like, is this about you speaking to Gen Z, etc.? I was like, yeah, it so happens that, I'm going to speak to a lot of Gen Z folks because I feel they are inherently wired differently compared to my generation, the millennials, just because of the access, the way they think, how they're not tracked by the age old expectation model. And you're a clear example of that. But my focus of conversation with Rao, and we've spoken countless hours through morning hikes, through Kaban Park walks, to morning yoga sessions, everything. Arunima is the co-founder of the WhatsApp community that I have here in Bangalore called Weekenders. It was Siddhant, Arunima, and I that we started on 3rd of November 2023.
Oh, you remember the date?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Or 22. See?
Okay.
But it's basically over 3 years old. The way she uses discipline in her life, I have never seen anyone like that. And I am someone who struggles inherently with discipline. That's the excuse I've given me that I'm a creative, impulsive person. So I'm always in awe of Arunima. I hired her when she was 24 years old. She's about 28 now.
Yes.
Right? So it's been 4 years. And I've never seen her drop the ball. Well, just occasionally, whatever, when her foot or ankle or whatever got fractured. So I want to start with that, Arunima.
Yes.
You have always been such a lean-in individual. Right from your internships to how you've cracked those, I remember you telling me that, to going and studying abroad, IIM Jammu, sending me a video application for the job from Lucerne, Switzerland. What makes you you? Because it's completely different compared to so many other folks that I see, age or generation notwithstanding.
Okay, right. Loaded question. Great to be here, and I would love to probably go back in time. Go back to when my parents were probably inculcating these values in my brother and I. I think it stems a lot from your upbringing. It's
I've
never.
met your parents and they are certified rock stars. Monica, especially, shout out to you. I absolutely love what a happy puppy your mom is.
Love you, mom. She's definitely watching.
Oh my God. Yeah, we have a Monica fan club here.
And I think my parents always imbibed this entire value of, you're the only one who's responsible for your destiny, and there's no, secret property or riches coming your way. So you need to make sure you grind and you make sure you carve the future you want for yourself. And I think that started from the very, very beginning. I think in school, I remember a teacher had put this up on a notice board saying essay competition, trip to South Korea. It's an all India competition. And no one really gave it much attention, I remember, I recollect. And I went
studied in
home.
Delhi.
I studied in Delhi. I went home, I took that application, I showed it to my dad saying, it's a 1,000-word essay and I really want to apply and I want to give it my best shot. And he said,
How
yeah,
old were
sure.
you?
I think I was in class 10th.
Okay,
So this
so
is
14, 15.
yeah. And he said, sure, these are some documentaries you can watch. Very like hands-off, but hands-on kind of parenting.
Just the right nudge.
Exactly. So gave me the reading material and I, went through all of that subject matter, wrote an essay, got him to proofread, and then we submitted it. And randomly, one day I get a call from Samsung Engineering, the organizer, saying that, your daughter's been selected. She's going to South Korea. We hope you know that. And my parents are like, what? And my brother on the side was like, these things actually work. And next thing I know, I ended up becoming the first person in my family to go abroad, first passport to be printed, because never in their wildest imagination did they think, this could be an enabler.
Wow.
Yeah. So then I realized, okay, effort is equal to reward, is equal to just the amount of grit you have. It's all a function of each other.
We'll double click on that later because only effort doesn't unlock the reward, right?
Yeah.
There's so many other factors at play. I mean, of course, I talk about this at Antar, but the karmic factors. It's what you're born with. The fact that you're born to Vijay and Monica
Yes.
in the house that you're born to, with the values that they imbibed and inculcated in you as a child, and the prolific journey they have had. Your father's been a pioneer business journalist in the
Yes,
country.
that's true.
Your mother is an award-winning educator.
Yeah.
So for you to get this,
Yeah.
it's so much more than effort, right? Like, what was the effort you made before you were born to these parents? It's,
Very much the accident of birth, and I think I'm a beneficiary of a lot of
I call it the
privilege.
genetic lottery.
The genetic lottery.
Yeah.
And mom was in fact even a filmmaker before she got into academia. So they were going for offbeat careers at the very beginning, before offbeat was even a thing.
Yeah.
Right?
And I can't even imagine the amount of societal judgment, log kya kahenge, that they would have faced. So you have it. You have it in your genes.
Yes.
Amazing. Okay, so South Korea happened.
That happened, and then again, a lot of soul searching. I remember when I was in SRCC.
You
I
mean
was doing-
SEOUL, soul searching?
Yeah, soul.
Seoul, Korea?
Oh yeah, soul searching. Yeah, yeah. Hopefully not a lot of
Dad
soju.
here cracks dad jokes.
So yeah, like a lot of soul searching post soul happened in SRCC when everyone around me was like, McKinsey, Bain, BCG में job चाहिए, investment banking करना है, या फिर UPSC crack करना है, right? And there I was thinking, this is what most people want to do, but do I want to do it? So I ended up doing 6, 7 internships. And like it was a wide spectrum. I thought I was going to try public policy, so I worked at Niti Aayog. Again, reached out to Mr. Amitabh Kant at an event, walked up to him saying, I really love your work, would love to be able to contribute to your mission. Is there any way I can do that?
How does someone, and you were 14, 15, 16-year-old.
Yeah.
How does a 16-year-old muster up the courage, confidence to walk up to Mr. Amitabh Kant and just tell him that I love your work and I'd love to work with you?
I think my dad felt like if you throw kids at the deep end, they eventually learn to swim.
Sink
So
or
he would
swim.
take us to business conferences that he was invited to, my brother and I, and tell us to just walk up to people and introduce ourselves, ask for an internship, see what they have to say. And eventually I got smarter about this by, doing my homework on the fly. Like I would just like Google and be like, okay, this is, XYZ person. I can't be completely blank. And I would make, fumbles like, I'm Arunima and a class 12th student, and, just, stammer all the time. But doing it over and over in such an iterative way helped me get more confident. And eventually, when it mattered, I was able to be super articulate.
Wow.
Yeah, so that happened. The same thing happened with Miss Shireen Bhan. So I got an internship at CNBC TV18 with Mr. Amitabh Kant, with the IT Delhi director. I also ended up working at Lok Sabha because I thought again public policy, let me try my hand at that. So I was in the parliament. It was very cool. But yeah, I also understood that what I didn't like as well. So for instance, the most coveted placement at that time, an investment banking internship, and for a college student, the stipend was incredible. Like you didn't have to think about anything else. It was equivalent to a full-time role.
Bapre.
Yeah, and in Mumbai. So I was like living my dream. But then I also realized that, okay, this isn't something which I have a very natural inclination towards. So a lot of trial and error went into figuring out what I wanted to do.
That's very important. Hold that thought also. Your coffee is getting cold. Please have it. To understand what you want to do,
Yeah.
it's important to throw yourself
Yes.
at as many diverse opportunities and ideas as possible, right?
100%.
The saying literally goes throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. Most people hesitate and fumble right there, Rao. Most people don't put themselves out there because comfort zone hai na, de-risk the situation. Why take a chance? Oh my God, people will say I failed or I don't know what I want. Parents will judge me, friends will judge me, peers will judge me. How to overcome that?
I think having a very rock solid support system helps a lot. For instance, I decided to drop a year after my college to study for CAT.
After graduation.
After graduation, after SRCC, when I figured, okay, like
SRCC में क्या पढ़ा? Eco.
economics. Yeah.
Okay.
And I thought I would take some time to also explore other interests, and ended up going to Thailand for a conference by the government of Thailand. And my parents decided it's fine, stay for a few more days and just explore the city. And that any desi parent would probably not understand this.
बाप रे,
हाँ,
Sin City,
वही.
वापस आओ, वापस आओ.
And लड़की को भेज रहे हैं, मतलब she's just like 18, 19. But in Bangkok, unlike most folks my age who are probably going to Phuket and partying and so on, I ended up again cold DMing Thai founders, entrepreneurs over there, and with my OnePlus and like this same tripod over there, a small Manfrotto, tiny lapel mic, went there and I interviewed them, turned those into videos, learned Premiere Pro video editing via YouTube, and put those out there.
As an 18-year-old.
As like, yeah, because I just
Phenomenal.
wanted to learn more, and I don't know how this nerdish approach to life has come about, because I've seen that happen in like different stages of my life where I just do something completely, offbeat, and it just works out. I think that experience to meeting people, pitching yourself to folks abroad who are, at the peak of their careers and still trying to make a mark, that also helped me a lot. Yeah.
No fear?
I don't know, it just...
What is your device? What is your mechanism of overcoming fear? Because again, like you said, you said all the right keywords. Akeli ladki, paraya desh. Forget foreign, yeah. India mein, I don't know how many people actually put themselves out there willingly, intentionally, in uncomfortable situations. How do you navigate fear?
I think you embrace it. You will probably fail. I have failed so many times. I have made countless errors, fumbles, said the wrong thing at the wrong time to the wrong person, and then gone back and reflected on that and realized that, okay, maybe I can do something better next time. Like, this is not the outcome I wanted, but maybe if I do something differently, it might.
How do you not go into a self-hating, self-judging, self-deprecating loop? And it's so easy for young girls to get into that. Actually, everyone, young boys and young girls, there's a lot of discourse and dialogue around what young girls are going through. But similar to young boys, right? It's a very tender age.
Yeah.
Your perception of self has not solidified yet. One unkind word from someone can really have an outsized impact on you. And similarly, one kind word, one supportive word can really build you up as well.
Yeah.
So support system, I fully agree with you. But what about people who don't have that, unfortunately?
Yeah, I think communication, articulating what you're feeling to people around you, to well-wishers,
Practicing
helps.
that.
Yeah, because that will give you a sense of reassurance and a sense of calm from within, and then you'll be able to bounce back that much faster.
Amazing. Keep going. I'm just quickly checking if both the cameras are recording because we don't have any producer.
No
It's
problem.
just a home production, quite literally. No, so fear is build yourself up in a skill in your case, or actually to anyone in today's day and age, you're recommending approach getting better at communicating and articulating your thoughts like it's a life mission.
100%.
Like it's a critical life skill.
Yes.
I 100% agree. Awesome. So that happens, you take the gap year, and then what?
I take the gap year and I crack an MBA college, and still I was not entirely sure about what I wanted to do. So to do some more reflection, I ended up going for an exchange program. I thought maybe traveling the world, hashtag wanderlust, might help me in life. It wasn't like this 100% sense of, oh yeah, everything's going to work out from day one kind of a feeling that was in my head. There were days when I would feel absolutely clueless, absolutely worthless, absolutely directionless. And it just, I think staying with my thoughts and being with well-intentioned people around me helped me a lot there. So when I was in France, thankfully I was able to get this on scholarship. I was there for like 6 months. I would just travel, make
No, not
friends.
thankfully. You made crazy effort for that as well. How did you unlock that?
That was again an application that you do. And I think in that particular year, just a handful of people across the country, across streams. So MBA, medicine, engineering get selected, and across levels of study. What I mean to say is that it's something that you apply for and you forget about because it's a lot like a lottery. It's called the Charpak Scholarship. And my name was on that list. And again, pinch me moment there once more. I was able to take off a lot of the financial burden from the family because this was an inflow that was coming. Use that money to just travel and solo trip across Europe. Went to France, of course, to study. Then Germany. No, not Germany. Went to France, Spain, Switzerland, Iceland, the Netherlands, a bunch of countries in the area, and made new friends, put myself out there again, spoke to folks from all over the world. In Iceland, imagine going alone. यहाँ पे नोएडा से ग्रेटर नोएडा जाना मुश्किल होता है घर पे. वहाँ my parents are like, what are you even doing, girl? But it was something that I'll never be able to replicate again, I feel like, in my life. I'm so glad I did that at 24, 23, when I had the energy to just, endure so much walking, so much, lifting of backpacks, and just survive on the bare minimum. A lot of hustle there too.
And in some way, do you agree at that life stage, of course, ignorance is bliss, naivety is bliss?
It is.
Because unfortunately, the more you read the news and the world, you start making these preconceived notions, which also give, seat to fears or insecurities. But the younger you are less impacted or colored by the world and its views.
Yeah.
So you just dive straight in,
Into it,
keep
yeah.
killing it. We'll see what happens. So do you recommend that to folks to maybe take a gap year after college or something like that? Because
Yes.
it's such an alien concept to most Indians.
Yeah.
हम लोग नौकरी खत्म होने से पहले ही प्लेसमेंट ले लो और फिर गधा मजदूरी शुरू करो.
एग्जैक्टली यहाँ पे लोग MBA करते हैं प्लेसमेंट्स के लिए. यहाँ पे मैंने प्लेसमेंट से ऑप्ट आउट कर लिया, सेइंग आई विल फाइंड अ जॉब इन माय ओन. नन ऑफ दीज जॉब्स काइंड ऑफ फिट व्हाट आई वांट टू डू. And even before the MBA, I took a gap year, which I highly recommend to every single person, and travel in that 1 year. Maybe do some internship and create a runway for yourself, a fund for just traveling, and it will reward you in ways that you can't even imagine.
Greatest university of life is travel.
Travel, yes.
But travel not to just go fulfill those Instagram or checkpoints
Yes,
and make your slow motion reel sitting on the swing here and there and same cafes. Travel with the intention of what? What is the explicit intention you need to have in mind to really unlock value from that travel?
I think some folks like a more regimented environment to make sure that they're fully locked in. So maybe travel with purpose through a program, through a conference, through, something which...
Like a volunteer exchange program
Correct.
or something.
Which has a greater meaning behind it. It's not just you whiling away time on a beach, which is also fine, but maybe in moderation, right? That cannot be like 80% of why you're there. Yeah.
Awesome.
But that comes with intent. That comes with what your compass guides you towards. I don't think that happens with most people. I've seen a lot of people my age who prioritize other things in life because YOLO. But if you are driven, if you're ambitious, if you want to do something remarkable in your life, you won't be able to bring yourself to do it in the first place. You get what I mean? Like the restraint comes from within. It's not
If someone does not have that compass, can they cultivate it? And I know exactly what you mean, right? She's being extremely parliamentary about her words, but we've seen this during my generation, millennials and Gen Z. Um, Spending the peak of their life and their premium years getting drunk, doing substances, hangover pe hangover, hookup pe hookup, just living a life of zero consequence, zero intention. I call this very low frequency life. And I understand there's a phase where people go through this,
Yeah.
but some folks, including millennials or Gen X, they somehow never get out of this phase because the constant external validation seeking mechanisms that you build in life, that I want to be validated. Either you want validation or you want to numb yourself for whatever reason, or you want to play victim. The greatest addiction of our times is people's love to play victim. Victimhood is so addictive. Oh, poor me, this happened to me during childhood. Yes, congrats, but you're a grown ass adult human being now. You are in charge of your life. What happened is bad. I'm sorry it happened. But what now? What are you going to do in the now, in the moment?
Correct. You know how it's a corporate buzzword to have bias for action, but it's so true. Like, if you take the nub of that idea and use that in your life to always focus on moving on and being more intentional in things that you do and try to, again, have a bias for action, it helps a lot.
Oh my God, you're so inspiring.
Otherwise, you're just like sitting with an idle mind and then you'll dwell on that and, sink deeper into it.
And it's a crisis of your own making.
Yeah.
You have nobody else to blame but yourself. Okay, so gap year happened, and then the European travel was happening, and then.
So when I opted out of placements, I realized, okay, now I have an education loan. So I need to find
And
a
a
job.
big chunky one.
Yes, MBA is expensive in India and abroad, of course, even more so. So I started reaching out to folks, started doing off-campus hiring, which is essentially that your college doesn't facilitate your placement. You yourself have to go and apply via the career portals and so on, reach out to people. That's when one of my DMs landed in Ankit's inbox, I think.
On LinkedIn.
Yes, where I saw that you had done 10 years of CNBC TV18 work, and then after that, you had dived into the corporate world. So then I figured, okay, maybe this is someone who will understand my life stage and where I'm coming from. I was struggling to meet people who were understanding my dilemma. CNBC TV18 seemed to be a good fit for me, or like a news channel, a business news setup. But at the same time, I also had this education loan to look at, and it had to be something which is able to sustain both passion as well as monetarily it makes sense. And I remember you mentioning that content cells or verticals in fintechs were doing exceedingly well now, and I should focus on that as an option. And
Before that background, she had already built herself a presence as an independent finance news content creator on Instagram just by herself. And that was very impressive. How long did you do that for?
that was about a year. I was tinkering around with Canva and I would make carousels, just making business news or business headlines
accessible.
more digestible. So that was a very like entrepreneurial side quest I was doing.
Yes, absolutely. So when she reached out to me, it was a mentorship message saying, "Hey, guide me. I'm at this life stage, etc." And she shared, the links of the work that she has done on LinkedIn, on Instagram. What I saw was a trail of, it's called POW, proof of work, right? So it showed that this is not someone who's just randomly cold DMing people. Sure enough, you can do that and still unlock amazing opportunities or conversations or network. But I saw that, wait a second, here's someone who's extremely intentional and has put in the work already. So she's putting now her money where her mouth is, literally.
Yes.
Okay, and then?
And I decided to shoot my shot because on the call, I'm not sure how I just mustered the courage to ask you, hey, Ankit, can I please join your team? I'm sure I'll be able to contribute extremely well. I was applying left, right, and center and getting rejected because don't have a mass comm degree, don't have prior journalistic experience for a journalism
That
internship or
was your
job.
perception of what was needed.
Correct. And that's why I was getting rejected also. Those are the reasons stated. So I figured if someone were to just try
Take a
and take a
chance.
chance on me, like I know I'll be able to do it. I just need that platform. And I remember you very coolly were like, sure, but maybe you can send a video talking about why you want to join and what value do you bring to the table. And I was like, this is my shot, this is the chance that I needed. And I again, this was in France, by the way, different time zone, different setup, not your natural habitat. Took up my phone camera with the tripod, recorded something, edited on the bus because I was traveling here and there, put it together and send it to you. And next thing I know, a few mails down the line, I received the offer letter, which is so relieving and gratifying. I was so, I was ecstatic at that time that ठीक है, कुछ तो हो जाएगा life में. So I fly back to India and I directly go to Bangalore. I live in a chotu 1 BHK, very close to office. I didn't have a vehicle, so I would walk to office and come back. These small things to, cut costs here and there. And somewhere in the middle, I think my ex-boss at Grow saw my content. We'd worked on a series called Money Mantra. And he loved it so much that he decided to doggedly ask me every 6 months for like a solid year or every few months for a solid year, and I would keep like stalling. And eventually this ended up becoming my role at Grow, and where I was there for 2.5 years, and that experience had been also very transformative. So thanks to you, laid the foundation. Everything I know about content was thanks to you.
Oh my God.
And then I was able to build on that at Grow. And yeah, now I think I have the confidence to start something of my own. So I'm sure that'll require a lot of cold DMing again, a lot of starting from scratch. But yeah, I think the basics are in place.
What a phenomenal journey. I have hired many people over the last 22 years of working. But I can safely say in 22 years of working and hiring, I have never met a candidate like Arunima. You were so extraordinary, Arunima, because the assignment for the content team was make a video, right? And because I'm a video first person, I believe in the video world. So I literally gave her a very blank canvas brief. Make a video on why we should hire you. What's the value you'll add? The effort that Arunima took in making that video, which literally felt like a proper news package, and she showed what she was doing. It was so meta, it had parallel timelines. She was talking about how she adds value, but she was also talking about being on the move, how she's in France, she's going to Switzerland and all of that. So there were parallel stream timelines within that. And I was like, this is very nuanced storytelling for someone who's 24-year-old, for someone who's supposedly not a content native because they've not studied mass communications or a journalism degree. But most importantly, she did not make an excuse. Hey, Ankit, I'm traveling 10 days, 15 days. After that, I'll send. She stayed up probably burning the midnight oil and made it happen. Earlier, when Arunima spoke about effort begets or unlocks rewards and a lot of grit, that formula is partially true. You need superhuman and extraordinary effort to unlock rewards. And I think her effort in making that video, despite everything else happening in her physical reality, helped her unlock that opportunity. You will find people in the industry who will share everything they know with you, as I shared with you. You just need someone who's willing and who's got their hands up. She was always ready to make notes. There was no like, oh, I'm done, or the shift is over, or it's beyond work hours. Her willingness to learn was above and beyond anything else. And which is why, there are people who probably have spent as much time making content, which is why Arunima became the face of the Grow YouTube channel, which is India's largest finance education YouTube channel, which is why she was at the National Stock Exchange or Bombay Stock Exchange hosting the IPO listing ceremony of Grow. I mean, the kind of opportunities that she has gotten, they've only come because first she put her hand up and said, I don't know this. I want to learn this. The humility to say, I don't know, teach me. And then to follow through on that and apply it. Hats off to you.
Thank you, Ankit.
Hats off to you. No, unbelievable. Unbelievable. One thing that has always blown my mind about you, Arunima, is, again, like I said at the beginning, your discipline. We worked together for approximately 2 years at CoinSwitch.
Yeah, year and a half.
Yeah, year and a half. Every day, Arunima would eat the same lunch. Every day. I kid you not. And here's someone who wants variety in food every day. So every day I'd be like, आज ये खाते, आज वो खाते, आज ये बनाए, आज वो बनाए. And Arunima Shanti se opens her dabba, which has steamed boiled vegetables and some animal protein, chicken or whatever else that is. I tried eating it a couple of times. Not my jam.
Yeah.
How do you build discipline like that?
I think at that point in time, because of like just flagrant eating in France, I was having all sorts of croissants and patisserie. I baked goods, and I think I was in my thickness era, and I wanted to get into my fitness era. Thickness to fitness.
Oh, wow.
So I decided.
That's a good YouTube channel series.
Right? So I decided that I wanted to be in a very strict calorie deficit diet, and also part of my hidden agendas of joining the Weekenders was to push myself to do treks and
more physical fitness.
Yeah, more physical fitness, prioritize health over everything else.
Yeah.
Which is also the headspace I'm in right now. Like I really want to get back to that and be very, very focused on my workouts. At that point in time, I think in general it helps that my taste buds are practically dead. So
That's not true. You enjoy food.
appreciate
You
good
relish
food,
it.
but if it's
Because that's making me question all the feedback you've given me about my cooking. Yeah.
that is exceptional. But food for sustenance, I think I have a very low threshold for good food. Like I am okay with anything and everything.
But it's not just food, Rao. I want to zoom out. It's about sensory stimuli. When I have seen people get lost in doom scrolling or spending obnoxious amount of time on consuming rather than creating or everything else, I see you live your life so well compartmentalized.
Yeah.
It is not about food because the temptations and the desires and the stimuli for all the 5-6 sensory doors are always out there. But you have managed to fortify your mind. It's a fortress. You choose gate pass, my gate. What comes in? How do you build that? That is what I want to know. It's not about whether food gets you whatever excited or no. Do you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, 100%.
How do you build that fortress?
I think once you have a goal in mind, everything around you becomes tunnel vision to achieving that goal. So you know how horses in races have blinkers?
Lagam.
You have a very blinkered vision. That's how I look at it as well. And whatever it takes to achieve that outcome, if you focus on the granular steps A, B, C, D, E and do that over and over,
It gets boring, no?
it gets extremely boring. But I have read so much literature on how the most boring things in life
Unlock.
help you, unlock greater things.
This is so important.
Yeah, it's the boring stuff which actually counts. To reach listing ceremony of Grow, the number of hours I've shot like every single day, countless videos, the scripts I've written, the offline events I've had to host, just run around entire days interviewing people, right? Requires you to do the grunt work and to get your hands dirty to be able to get even half the chance at doing something like that.
Because then it's a matter of chance.
Yeah.
It's not just qualification or
They could
eligibility.
have gotten any anchor.
Anybody in the world.
Exactly. So I think it's just a case of, again, what you said, just being open to anything and everything. I was hired for a very specific role. But then when they said, hey, you want to try ad films? I was like, yes. Hey, you want to try GTM content, go to market, feature, release content? I said, yes.
Live events.
Yeah, live events, 100%. Not just the event hosting, but आगे पीछे जो भी होता है.
Organizing.
Kiosk पे क्या लगेगा? Who are coming in? What about the goodies? The ops around it also, right? Event management through and through. Starting communities for advanced traders, which is not even my comfort zone.
No, but you've also done your SEBI registration exams,
so I
etc.
would study also alongside so that I am NISM certified and the investing content is, backed by proper research. So it just requires you to be open to a lot of experiences, and then at the same time know what your higher goal is, to be very, very disciplined and very locked in. Yeah, I know, बहुत preachy sound हो रहा है, I feel.
Boss level.
But that's
No,
how
no,
I
no.
think
It's not
about it
preachy. You've
too.
practiced it. It would be preachy if you've not practiced it. If they were just empty words. What's your higher goal?
My higher goal is to be the
Yeah,
to
of course.
create the most information dense but value rich finance content in India, and to be the most remembered creator out there for that.
Why finance?
I think I just saw my parents running a finance news channel growing up. I just had a natural inclination.
That the fruit does not fall too far away from the tree.
Yeah, 100%.
But while that is also true, you are an incredibly entertaining content creator with your Wow Rao Wow series.
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
So, to experiment with content, because I do realize it's a transferable skill. It doesn't apply to only a finance niche or food content. I also wanted to experience what travel and lifestyle content creations like, because I look at myself also as a content creator, but not just as a finance content creator. Niching myself too much. Everyone talks about hyper specialization, but I also wanted to broad base it a bit more. And thankfully, those content pieces do really well, even though I post like once a month because of how
Life is.
life is, yeah. And thank you for coining the term wow rao wow. You know how you mentioned that you should think of a term with sticky edges and how people will latch on to something. This I found has the stickiest of edges, because everyone now calls me wow rao wow. Man, but yeah, thanks. That's another thing I'm very, very grateful to you for.
No, of course. I love doing this. I love doing this. Ideas are aplenty in today's day and age. I mean, of course, if you use some of the AI tools, they're fantastic brainstorming partners as well. Execution is what wins the game. So, sure enough, I suggested the name Wow Rao Wow, but you acted on it and you've executed and you continue to doing that. And obviously, I'm going to be always the number one fan and follower to double click on everything and like everything and share everything. You do amazing content. What is your view as someone who's in the content game, as someone who's, you're still Gen Z, right?
Yes.
Obviously, because Gen Z also grows older.
Once born a Gen Z,
You're always a
yeah.
Gen Z. What's your view of the content landscape today? And I don't just mean fintech. I mean, overall, there are so many people, because I do kit personal branding workshops. People are like, oh my God, Ankit, yeah, there's already so much content. Yeah, it's saturated. Yeah, there's so many creators. Yeah, what value will I add? Yeah, why should I even make this? Yeah. So, what would you say to that? While I go check the cameras again, please continue.
Yes. And also, I forgot to like turn this off, so I'll just do that.
Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, this is going strong. This is going strong. And there's not going to be any cuts in this video because we are both content creators. So it's all a single take video, because who needs editors and cuts? The only cuts you will see is obviously cameras swapping from wide to close cam, both shot on iPhones. Anji,
So,
content landscape.
content landscape today, I think extremely fast changing, and unless you learn to incorporate AI in your
Giving a very
workflow.
CNBC answer, yaar.
नहीं, मतलब-
Thoda honestly bolna.
I quit my job so that I can spend more time learning about AI, and also to understand how to incorporate it in my workflows better.
Okay, there's too many things I want to ask you. First, give me a quick 1-2 liner on what you make of the content landscape right now. Good, bad, cringe, saturated, not saturated.
Not saturated. I think it's an ever increasing pie. If you have the skill set to craft your story out there, there's always going to be an audience.
And disproportionate results you're going to get, they only compound.
Yeah. If it was not a sizable opportunity enough, I wouldn't have quit my job.
And she's one of the most intelligent people I know. Why did you quit your job at 28, at the peak of your career? Walk us through this, because always we've established that you do unconventional things, that you have the most incredible parents and support system and friends. But still, the amount of self-doubt that one would have,
Yeah.
you're at your peak. And you get into the habit of, the drill, right? Why it's so difficult for people to get out of that. The monthly paycheck, the amount of money coming in, the stability, the lifestyle. You live in an amazing house in Bangalore with amazing roommates who become your friends. You travel, you spend money, you have a certain lifestyle. How
Yeah.
do you decide to sever all of that and
Hit the reset button.
yeah, I mean, take us also through the maths, the thinking, everything.
Sure. Nassim Nicholas Taleb actually talked about how paycheck is your biggest addiction. And
Chandni
so
said the exact same thing. What is this Nasim dude that everybody seems to be quoting? What's going on?
Raghav is your modern day god, I feel.
Is it?
Immensely good thought leader. You should actually check out his books. Black Swan is one very famous one.
Okay.
So essentially, he talks about how you're always shackled by this paycheck that comes every month, and it's a shackle.
Say that line again.
Shackled
No. What is your biggest addiction?
paycheck. Getting a paycheck is your biggest addiction in life, and once you cut that off, with of course a backup.
Do you agree with that?
I 100% agree. I think it's gonna hit me now that today's day one of being self-employed, I guess. But it's gonna occur to me at the end of the month that हर महीने salary नहीं आने वाली and I need to be extremely frugal now. I need to be very, very discerning. पहले I used to be a bit more lax, more lenient with my
You're already frugal,
spending.
yeah. The dresses that Rao wears, these are her grandmother's sarees that are upcycled and repurposed and redesigned.
This is my grandmom's sari.
And this is not the odd one out, like with your mother's sarees or dupattas or whatever. You're always like, upcycling and recycling these things. So you already have the frugal mindset.
Yes, that's correct. But at the same time, it's something you lean on, right? Your paycheck. You can't immediately do away with.
And so much of your identity comes from that, right?
Yeah.
Here is someone who can afford certain lifestyle and is making so many lakhs of annual CTC. You make your entire identity about that.
For the gram.
How do you
I think
talk us through the process now, because this will really help people.
Sure. To start off, I very concertedly decided to start saving up money on the side, and I built an opportunity fund, is what I call it. I used to say runway, and then my brother was like, "Ita chotu runway, to koi nahi manega." But for me, it's 6 months. 6 months of not being able to worry about whether I get the salary or not.
And 6 months of maintaining your current lifestyle and expenses. Some changes. Maybe you shift back home, so big rent component is not there, etc. So some of those. And 6 months of zero income coming in. That is what you call a runway.
100%.
6 months of saving.
And my hypothesis or hope here is that this is a shifting goalpost, because I will be doing some gigs for cash flow reasons. So certain brands have approached me to create IPs for them or host events and so on. And that will help cross-finance my creator efforts.
Amazing.
And so eventually when that income stabilizes, I will be at a stage where I'm able to, not depend on a salary per se. I've also, thanks to my podcast, right, the Personal Finance Money Talks by Grow podcast, I had the chance to speak to a lot of finance experts. They also taught me a lot of things about how to manage my salary better. When you have irregular cash flows, where some days, kale mega, pani to barsa chal rahe, and other days when, it's actually torrential. The money that you're getting, right? The highs and lows. So how do you regulate that? How do you save money and do, let's say, an SWP, a systematic withdrawal plan?
First time I heard this was from her last time they came over for chai here.
Yeah, so you have all of that money, but imagine having suddenly that corpus to your disposal. And when it's linked to your UPI, then it's a bit of a slippery slope. So I'm planning to, for example, withdraw only tiny amounts at a time, so that I am more disciplined and I don't even have that much cash to spend in the first place. जब पैसे होंगे ही नहीं खर्च करने के लिए तो खर्च ही नहीं होंगे.
Credit cards?
I mean, that I'll try to keep it locked somewhere else for a while.
Understood. No, but I'm talking about the more emotional and the logistical journey from deciding, hey, I want to take a career break. I want to maybe take a sabbatical for a few months, for a few years. I'm not going to have any active cash inflow.
Yeah.
I still have rent to pay, my parents to take care of, myself to take care of, my family to take care of. Because all of these are reasons why people are unable to do that, right?
Yeah.
So you said 6 months of savings. Obviously, you have to start. When you're thirsty, you don't start digging a well. You have to start months or years in advance, depending on your monthly outflow. So on an average, you were saving what, 60, 50% of your monthly salary to be able to build this opportunity fund?
Yes. 40%.
40%. Okay. So experts say 60%, 40%, whatever. It's up to you. Whatever is manageable, right? Okay. So once you have the number, something magically shifts in your head, right?
Yeah, because
when you hit your opportunity fund limit.
Exactly.
Because I've experienced that too, but I want to hear this from a 28-year-old.
Suddenly, when you see that in your account and you know that you have this cushion that you've created on your own to fall back on, you can use that as a launch pad. And it's such an enabler, the reason I wanted to take this plunge or give myself a shot is that I felt like at 28, I wanted to prioritize my health a bit more. I was neglecting it. Um, Second thing was I wanted to do something entrepreneurial. My own brother started up recently, so I didn't have to look too far for inspiration.
So amazing.
And I wanted to try something of my own. I felt like I could do this now, where course correction's easier. Maybe 10 years down the line, when I'm, potentially saddled with 2 kids, I may not be able to. The
No.
risk appetite also comes down with age, right? So I figured, okay, I also have the privilege of not having parents who are dependent on me. I think that is a huge, like, underrated factor. People on podcasts talk a lot about emergency fund, but
No.
it honestly boils down to the risk around you.
Every day, yeah.
Risk management around you means seeing parents are in good health, means seeing that your emotional risk is also not at play. For some people, it's, relationships, for example, वहाँ breakup हो गया and suddenly you're like, distraught and unable to function. Things like that. Once you safeguard these things around you, then you're able to operate from a place of peace, from a sense of calm. Yeah.
So the number is one part.
Yes.
How do you emotionally prepare yourself?
I think moving back home, right? So I'm doing major cost cutting, heading back home, spending time with the parents as well. And I'm, trying to be fully locked in that I'm going to be a different person in Delhi. I'm sure of it. Like, I'll go back to how I was in Coinswitch, be extremely critical about what I eat.
Really, with your mama ke haath ka amazing khana, that's
हाँ,
going to
मैंने
be possible?
उनको बोल दिया है मैंने कि आलू पराठा नहीं चलेगा.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and be super disciplined. Spend 2 hours just learning, upskilling
Wow.
about AI tools. Try to, use that in my content. I think Gen Z has a bad rep of not being very disciplined, but I think I have met enough Gen Z people who are the most disciplined folks I know and smart about it.
Yeah.
They leverage these tools to increase their productivity in a big way.
I think both are true. They are mutually exclusive statements, and it's not just about Gen Z. I know enough and more millennials who are indisciplined, enough and more millennials who've got it right. But I think what's the struggle, the unique struggle for Gen Z, which I empathize with them a lot, is you've grown up with the gram.
Yeah.
You've grown up with Instagram. And what that inherently does is creates this false narrative of this is the life you could be or should be living.
Yeah.
And for someone who does not have a fortified mind like yours, and you're not born with it, you have to every day constantly keep it intact, keep it together, it can be very easy to slip off
Yeah.
the highway or the runway. Our baseline was without any of these platforms, without any of these temptations. So, which is why I consider it unbelievably difficult for Gen Z to make the kind of bold moves that you're making.
Yeah, I mean, I guess jitna bhi one Dr. Andrew Huberman will say ki don't watch brain rot content, we end up watching it, and that leads to brain fog now.
Even you do sometimes?
Yeah. I mean, I catch myself, doom scrolling at night, and now I've tried to start reading again because it's like really difficult. Otherwise, it's a black hole of time. Suddenly, I mean, there have been instances where I've started at like 11:30 p.m. Suddenly, it's like 2 a.m.
Wow.
And I've just been consuming content for research. Like मेरे वहाँ पे तो वही that victim card. Like I'm like हाँ अभी तो research ही चल रहा है मेरा तो this is how you have to consume more content that you produce content. All these narratives will exist. But I think it just boils down to the fact that social media will inherently sculpt your thinking, and you need to like guard against that. You need to always center yourself.
How to do that?
Just like keep talking to people. More offline experiences help. Surrounding yourself in nature helps a lot, right? Going out for treks, going for yoga, just
Physically moving your
physically
body
moving.
as
Yeah.
well.
I really like the social media trend of making fitness fashionable. That is one trend I am
Greatest
all for.
use of social media. Yeah.
People putting out that, okay, on Strava, this is how much I was able to run today. I know how run clubs have become, kind of fashionable now, but I'm so glad that's an activity which leads to community building.
Yeah.
So I'm all for certain trends. I'm not saying everything. I'm not painting the entire social media game with a black paintbrush.
Yeah.
I think certain things that you optimized for are actually good. So
Understood.
you a kind of what you had mentioned to me once, you build your content diet around that as well. You make sure that you're extremely critical about things that you consume, and that will in fact be more productive.
Shape who you are.
Yeah,
Right?
content diet.
Because you want to get fit, you will obviously fix your physical diet, the food, the ahar that you have. But you want to fix this
Yeah.
fitness, you have to fix what content you're consuming 100%. 1 year from now, 2 years from now, you're going to be 30.
Yes.
Yeah, the big 3-0. Do you calculate life goals? Because you've spoken about this is the larger life mission. You want to be the most value driven, value given, the most memorable finance related content creator or content creator there is out on Indian internet or global internet. Do you also make shorter term or middle term goals to keep registering those wins to make sure
Yeah.
you're on track, enjoy it as well? How do you think? Do you think like that? And also, because we've spoken about anything and everything, right? Rao and I, we've spoken about everything under the sun from family to relationships to buying homes to settling down to children to marriage. How do you think about that as a Gen Z person again?
Yeah.
And because is it true that a lot of Gen Z don't look at marriage positively or don't aspire to get married?
Very averse to it. I think I'm someone, maybe I'm a bit old school that way. I, in fact, look forward to the institution of marriage and I'm very bullish on it. I think
Very bullish. Look at the finance term even on शादी.
इसमें भी हाँ यार
Nice.
इसको भी ऑप्टिमाइज कर देते हैं.
Super ROI मिलने वाला है.
Yeah, I think family is an institution or marriage is an institution that gives you so much support and stability that you cannot replace it. I think that whole narrative ki
base.
dink is the way to go, and
Dink is double income, no kids for people who don't know.
yeah, and one wants to be financially
You're also
independent.
bullish on being a mother.
Yes, I am so excited eventually to be, surrounded by kids and to be able to raise them and spend time with them, because a lot of like their future is determined by how much time I spend to them.
What do
So
you
even now,
Sorry, huh?
I'm deciding to craft my career in a way that I'm able to spend more time at home.
Flexible enough.
Yeah.
What do you say to those who, understandably, there are all kinds of people, right, who say, oh my God, the world has gone to shit. I don't want to bring another life, in this world where so many things are uncertain and negative and blah, blah, blah. I understand. I don't accept their logic. I understand why they're saying that. I think it's a very flawed logic. But what do you say to that?
I understand that school of thought, but I don't necessarily agree with it. Those variables always exist. And I think with the influx of things like dating apps, for example, specifically if you talk about relationships and how people view the institution of marriage, when you look at platforms which optimize for optionality all the time, you're essentially looking at the wrong place to build a future as well.
Oh my God, we've spoken so much about this.
Yeah.
You want to get fit and all you do is visit McDonald's.
Yeah, exactly.
How are you going to get fit?
Essentially, exactly. So I don't understand why, you're basing your narrative of the future based on being present on these apps or these platforms. And I think that sculpts your thinking as well.
But people will say, what else is the option?
Just like, go to offline events, meet people organically or through friends. I think that has helped a lot of my friends as well.
You think dating is broken for Gen Z?
I think dating apps have changed the way one approaches dating. That's probably why. It's not even like a Gen Z problem.
मतलब dating तो था ही नहीं यार अरुणिमा. As a culture, हमारे society में,
It's
in our generation,
taboo.
India did not have a dating culture.
Yeah.
It was a very off-center activity if somebody dated or had live-in relationships. और शादी नहीं होती थी. अगर आप किसी के साथ हो, किसी से प्यार करे हो, अगर आप उनके साथ हो, देर सवेर, you will get married and you will co-live with them.
Yeah.
Dating culture ही नहीं था इंडिया में growing up, yeah. And of course, I'm talking from the lens of a lower middle class Maharashtrian family growing up. I'm pretty sure maybe the rich and famous had a whole different parallel universe. But I'm talking about the belly of the market, most of us. So, as a trend, this is extremely new to us. Extremely alien. We have no reference point. There is no precedent. There's no, let's go ask an older brother or parents about how to navigate this. So which is why sab haath pair maar rahe hain and figuring it out as they go, causing a lot of damage and getting damaged in the process as well.
Yes.
And hurt people.
Yeah. It's how they say that we're breeding an emotionally damaged generation, which will that'll perpetuate with generations coming forward, right? I do understand it's very nascent, and yeah, maybe I'm being a bit too critical too early.
No, you're not.
Yeah, but I understand that dating was not something that people encouraged in the past, and now it's suddenly slightly more acceptable.
Another extreme.
But let's see. I mean, I think people are being too critical about the fact that it's a failed institution. I think if that continues, then one will end up becoming like a Japan or a South Korea,
my God, that's
where that
very-
demographic pyramid only is inverted.
Fully collapses.
Yeah.
Fully collapses.
And we don't want to be there. I don't think India is built for that right now. Our infrastructure is not built for that.
No, it's not a desirable place to go as a society.
Yeah.
Where everybody is alone and does not want to be with anyone else, because our ability to succeed professionally, and tell me if you agree with this, like she said, to be able to host that Grow IPO, the countless hours of back-breaking work that it took to unlock one moment, one day of a career peak or a career high. We are losing our ability to do the grunt work on the daily in relationships.
Yeah.
We just want the peaks. And if we don't get the peaks, we're going to say left swipe
Yeah.
or unmatched.
Give up.
Do you agree?
Yeah, 100%. I think people don't turn up enough for the bad days, and they just want the good days and think that's representative of representative of how most relationships should work, and then back out the moment there's signs of trouble. I've seen that in my friend circle so often, where they give it like maybe 2 dates, 3 dates, and they see a red flag and bas khatam. Green forest nahi hai to kuch nahi hai types, Whereas you need to grow together as a couple to be able to build that relationship. I think that is missing. Patience is missing. Yeah.
How to cultivate that? With a longer view of things.
Yes, correct.
Interesting.
And not in a transactional way, not going in thinking, okay, I want to get married to this person. Understanding that person more, seeing if that's a fit and whether you can grow together. For me, for instance, intellectual stimulation is as
Compatibility.
important. Yeah. Lifestyle compatibility is extremely important. Right? So I optimized for that in life. Yeah. But most people just want to see whether Instagram trend करेंगे मेरे साथ कि नहीं. You know what I mean?
For real?
Yeah, for real. There's so many couple trends out there, and then it becomes a case of, oh, like he doesn't click pictures of me, and then like things go south.
No.
Yeah.
That can't be true.
It happens. Your Instagram game determines a lot of your eligibility. I feel that's happened. Like, or maybe it's a social media bubble that I stay in, and I've seen people around me look at folks like that. Your presence on LinkedIn is so important.
For what? For dating?
For dating, people
I
check.
understand for landlords, yes, in Bangalore. Because the first thing they ask is a LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, but even dating, like you see your LinkedIn, people check LinkedIn profiles to see whether this person's, which I think is a good thing. This I'm all for. You see their background check,
Fair.
sound or not. But your social media presence, your footprint determines your eligibility as a partner too.
This is the first time I'm hearing about it.
It happens. Yeah, it's become so essential, social media.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That is.
People think you're sus if you don't have like a very active profile.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. This is unbelievable. What are some of the things that you think we millennials get wrong about Gen Z?
I think millennials are quick to judge Gen Z. I think that whole...
This is it. This is the headline.
Yeah. I think Gen Z does a very good job, and I look at my interns, right, who are very, very assertive in drawing boundaries. That to millennials feels like, ye kaise bol diya main?
Boundaries are alien to us, and
Yeah.
we feel extremely offended and attacked when somebody expresses their boundaries. It's something we have to work on.
Yeah, when a 70-hour work week is debated with no 90 hours or 120 hours and workaholism is normalized, then anyone setting boundaries feels like, oh, this person is not productive, is not motivated, is making excuses, whereas that is in fact the healthy way of going about things, right? So I think that is something like millennials definitely get
If anything, millennials should learn it from Gen Z
Yes.
and should thank them
Yeah.
for initiating these conversations of drawing boundaries around how much work needs to be done. Interesting.
I have learned this from my interns a lot, where they have messaged me saying, "It's a Saturday. You don't have to work." You
So
know,
Gen Z is Gen Zing you.
me,
Out Gen Zing you.
I think the borderline. They
Yeah.
are like core Gen Z, and even borderline Gen Alpha now. I don't even know what Gen Alpha will be like.
Right.
But yes, they're not in the workforce yet. Let's see.
Okay, so definitely around the timing thing. But do you also agree that the hustle culture has gotten out of hand? The fact that you are taking a break at the age of 28 to focus on your physical, mental, emotional health.
Yeah.
And not just that, that's a byproduct, but to also build something of your own at your own pace, on your own terms, is also probably symptomatic of how it takes everything and then some to keep playing the full-time corporate or full-time startup job.
It has gotten out of hand. Having said that, if your goal is to maximize wealth in your lifetime or whatever your higher goal is in
Wealth,
life,
you mean only money in the bank?
let's say money in the
Because
bank,
there are many
or
other kinds of wealth.
money in the bank can unlock financial independence and happiness. It's not, it's a means to an end, is how I look at it. And if you don't grind in your 20s, I feel, if you don't turn up every day and you say no to work, say no to projects, saying that, oh, this is not what I signed up for, then you're not learning. So I think it's a double-edged sword. Like, sure, hustle culture has gotten out of hand if you normalize too much workaholism. Having said that, there's no substitute for hard work. Like, I think I have met so many internship applicants who've said that, okay, I can do this but not that. And I think that, you know, that mindset
Attitude.
or that attitude itself rules them out. So the answer lies somewhere in the middle, is what I feel.
Okay, before we close this chat, and I would love to keep chatting with you, and we will once I come to Delhi and visit. And you don't have the aloo parathas, but I will eat your mom's aloo parathas while you do your diet. But Bangalore,
Yes.
are you going to be missing it? What is your, what do you think of Bangalore?
This city has been so pivotal in shaping my formative years in my career, and I owe so much to the city, the people, the dosa, you know. I
Wait a
love
second,
it so
dose
much.
before we get cancelled on the internet,
Dosa,
because that's a
yeah.
new thing. You cannot say dosa. You should say dose.
At least I didn't say dosa.
Oh wow!
Starting point matters.
Yeah, at least, or like Mumbaikar say mendu vada. Mendu is brain, by the way.
Oh wow.
So mendu vada makes your mendu sharp.
Yeah. Great. I mean, better than sambar and sambar.
Oh wow!
That's a different ball game. But I'm going to miss the city so much, especially the weather and AQI. I'm
Real,
not
real,
looking
very
forward
real.
to Delhi because apparently it's like 4 degrees. Gurgaon is 0 degrees. Yeah, that's horrible. But at the same time, I'm hoping to move back or to some other city eventually when I have a solid base in this new, chapter in my life. Um, I'm Bangalore for me is like the that song End of Beginning, Chicago. Have you heard that song where the line goes something like, um, "You can take the man out of the city, but not the city out of the man." I think Bangalore for me is like a mindset or like a way of thinking which you can't extricate from like where I am physically. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And would you recommend to folks who are anywhere in the country but who really want to do cool things for a period of time? Like, for my generation, it used to be go to US for some time.
Oh.
जाओ, पैसा कमाओ, career बनाओ, फिर आ जाओ home base. Do you think that logic? I will not recommend even to my worst enemy to go to the United
US.
States of America. Hand on heart, honestly, absolutely not. That's probably a whole different podcast I'll make on. But would you recommend maybe some exposure to Bengaluru or Hyderabad for people who are in their 20s and building up their career?
Yes, 100%. Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Mumbai. I think these
Mumbai is
cities
very expensive, but
expensive, but it really shapes you.
oh yeah.
The hustle there is at a different level.
Hustle Ultra Pro Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mumbai people think Bangalore is slow. So,
Why do you think I'm here?
okay.
I don't want Bombay fastness anymore
Meditative,
at
yeah.
all. Yeah, yeah.
So 100%, anyone who wants to do something in life should immerse himself
Expose.
in this environment, regardless of which city. Even Gurgaon, to that matter, is actually a good option.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, all hubs of activity and startups. Awesome. I like ending the podcast episode with the chance for you to ask me anything. And before you ask me anything, I actually want, because I'm shameless and I do everything in public, I want you to give me critical feedback for me as I've turned 43 and I am obviously building up a different stage phase of my life. I'm considering this year as a year of radical learning inspired by people like you
Wow.
to learn new skills, to onboard new knowledge and information. But you've known me for over 4 years now. And what is it that you think I could or should do differently?
I think what you're doing with Kit and Antar is extremely good, along with your executive speech coaching. I think if you build that up across cities, that will really give you some more opportunities to travel, because I know you love it so much, and eventually make that Japan trip happen. I really want you to start making those ramen bowls and that travel show where you just like drive around and sample food in the country. I hope you end up living that RV life someday.
Why do you think I got Azad? It's
Yeah,
all in a step in that direction.
I am so excited
A
for you.
rooftop tent on Azad is in the works. I've put that as a milestone for myself that make a certain amount of money, put a rooftop tent on my Thar, and then just travel across the country,
Wow,
overlanding trips. And wow, thank you.
you
My
should do
God, you
that.
remember all of this. Geez, thank you for reminding me of that.
Yeah, you should. I am so excited for, your new chapter as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Amazing. And yeah, if you want to ask me anything or else.
Um, do you think content is saturated? I've been thinking about that question since you asked.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
No, absolutely not.
no, right?
I don't think content is saturated. I don't think there's such a thing as cringe content because one person's art is another person's trash and another person's trash is some person's art. So, no. The number one differentiator today for anybody who wants to get hired, anybody who wants to build a good professional career, or absolutely anything, if you want to unlock a great relationship, good friends, what separates people is their ability to articulate their thoughts and ideas. And as of 2026, the ability to say that through publicly shared content. In my day, it was potentially the written word. In 2026, it is video. Or still the written word also, but the comfort and confidence in showing up publicly. People who have private accounts and who sign up for my Kit personal branding workshops, I'm like, why are you here? If you don't have your display picture on your LinkedIn profile and you want to build your LinkedIn, fear cannot unlock greatness. Fear only shrinks you. So if one looks at content as an extension of you, it doesn't matter if you're a doctor or a lawyer or a CA. Some of the biggest content creators in the country today are CAs and doctors and lawyers. Being able to make content today, Arunima, is in our day and age. We used to make biodata, curriculum vitae, CV. And in skills, you know what we would write?
MS Word.
Exactly. The ability to use Microsoft Word or Microsoft Excel or Microsoft PowerPoint, we used to put that in skills. I'm from that generation.
Yeah, I think the equivalent of that is ChatGPT now.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe. But it's not a good to have, it's a must have. The ability to make content. And content is not just making videos where you are talking to the camera or anything like that. Put yourself out there. So we are years or potentially decades away from content saturation. You can take a small view of things and see, is there a lot of AI slop that we are already seeing? AI made video generated characters, cats dancing, talking, vlogging. One of the top channels on YouTube is a bandar, an Indian monkey that is doing vlogs and
I saw
dances and
him.
social commentary, and it's apparently made crores of rupees in revenue.
Yes.
Human creativity will never go away. With content, you're also showcasing your right brain ability. And as AI automates a lot more things, your ability to showcase your humanity and humanness will be with content.
Yeah.
And you have seen this. Content has unlocked unbelievable opportunities in your life.
It's a force multiplier. The levers that you have for asymmetrical returns are much higher if you put yourself out there, and people just don't realize that.
And I can't think of a second alternative to content.
It's the
What could it be?
Yeah.
Like if you're a Nepo baby, maybe. Like, your parents just give you, okay, here's.
Yeah, generational wealth, I think.
Yeah, but that is
But that's
0.00001%.
and that's very debilitating. Like, for every person who can scale their family business, there are like 10,000 people who can't.
Who fail it.
Yeah.
Fail at it.
They vegetate.
Content is so democratic.
Very democratic.
फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता where you come from.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter which school, college you went from. It doesn't matter how much money your parents have. It does not matter. You have the complete responsibility to shape your future, which is why I love content. It's the greatest democratic engine of completely changing your life around.
And the supply chain around it. I have worked with editors who, like, I remember this one editor who works for who helps me with Wow Rao Wow videos. He sits not in Patna, a few kilometers outside Patna as well, and he edits so amazingly well.
Yeah.
Simply because that skill set is so democratic.
Yes.
There's no entry barrier.
Similarly, my editor, who I've used sometimes on my Instagram, sits in Asansol.
My gosh.
So I don't want to work with Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore editors because A, they are extremely expensive.
Yeah.
B, they are looking to work with the Grows and the Zerodhas.
Yeah.
Who will work with these independent individual creators where we can give 5,000-10,000 rupees per video or for a bunch of videos, etc.
Yes.
It's these people sitting all over the country. And their talent is mind-blowing.
Yes.
And the zest to work is mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing, yeah.
So, content is the greatest thing ever.
Yes.
Greatest. Wow. We're going to end on that
Getting goosebumps.
high note for sure. We're both incredible content evangelists, and I'm putting this out there and I'm putting it on record so that none of us bail out of it. But I'm going to be doing a KIT personal branding workshop in Delhi,
Yes.
which will be co-hosted with Arunima.
Yes. We'll discuss this.
Yeah, and you're going to be learning incredible content, mindsets, frameworks, structures from a prolific, one of the best in the country, 28-year-old content creator. But thank you. Thank you for making time. And I'm so excited for your next chapter. As always, I'm here for whatever you need. But I know you're only going to succeed. I've told you this, right? Like at some point, I see Arunima being what? The Prime Minister of
The
India.
PM, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. It's that or nothing. I'm kidding. No pressure. But all the best to you.
Thank you so much, Ankit. This was incredible. I loved being here.
Yay! Be good people. And what did they say? I still haven't gotten to the habit. Share, subscribe, and...
If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Oh, muscle memory ho gaya.
Thanks for watching BGP. Be good people. And done. Yay!